For this problem, we want to solve and graph the following inequality. Negative 4 times the quantity of x minus 3 plus 2 is all less than negative 2x plus 5. The first thing we need to do is get the x alone. Whenever we're dealing with one of these problems, we treat it almost exactly the same as if this were just an equal sign, except if we ever divide or multiply by a negative number. So first thing, we're going to distribute this negative 4 to start solving for that x. We get negative 4x plus 12 when we multiply negative 4 to the x and to the negative 3. All plus 2 is less than negative 2x plus 5. Then from here, we can combine the 12 and the 2 to give us negative 4x plus 14 is less than negative 2x plus 5. Now from here, generally you want to move the smaller x to the other side, but when you're working with inequalities, it's usually easier to see the x on the left side of the equation when you're reading it. So I'm going to move the 2x to the other side by adding 2x to each side. That'll cancel out the negative 2x on the right, which gives us negative 2x plus 14 is less than 5. From here, I'm going to get rid of this plus 14 to get my x alone, which means I will subtract negative 14 from each side. This gives negative 2x is less than negative 9. Now to finally get the x completely alone, we need to cancel out that negative 2 in front of it, so we're going to divide each side of the equation by negative 2. So with that, we end up with x and positive 9 over 2, but in the middle, we have to switch the inequality because we divided by a negative number, which gives us x is greater than 9 over 2. And from here, we want to write this in our interval notation. So x is greater than 9 over 2 means that we'll have 9 over 2 as our start, as it's the smallest number we can have. And because there's no equal sign, we will put a parenthesis with it. And then because x is greater than this value, that means we go all the way to positive infinity, which always has a parenthesis with it. So parenthesis 9 over 2, comma, parenthesis infinity, comma, infinity, parenthesis, is our solution. The problem also said to graph it. So from here, we'll create a graph, or a number line, which will start with 9 over 2 in the middle, and then off to the right and the left, we can just make one tick mark on each side for reference. So 9 over 2 means 4.5, so we can put 5 and 4 on each side of it. And x is greater than this value means we're going to start with a parenthesis at 9 over 2, pointing to the right, and then we will shade to the right and make a second arrow. And this is our graph for the original problem.